Just yesterday, we spoke after Geshe Thapke's class about non-Buddhist objections to the omniscient mind of a Buddha. And when Moshoodran emphasized and encouraged us to think how to respond to questions such as that all religions apply prayer and mantra, what differentiates our traditions from there? So she continued saying that we do practice Shenrezi practice, we recite certain mantras, but do we really think about why we do these practices? And is it because of some good feeling, maybe when the light and nectar streaming forth into our body from the Buddhas, or because while reciting mantras we have not to think a lot about other things? Or she said, if we don't know the psychological processes behind these practices, we are not of any different to other traditions. Therefore, it's important to question, to discuss, and to think about it. So I will give a personal example, revealing myself a little bit here. And also, it's difficult for me. So I attended teachings by His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Riga 3 years ago, where he actually gave the teachings on the Brahma-Vatika, the second chapter. And also he explained about why faith-based practices alone are not enough, not sufficient. So I will go into that. For so many years of my life, after I met Buddhism, I relied to a great deal on these faith-based practices, like reciting certain prayers, doing a lot of mantras, and prostrations. In 2003 or so, I discovered a book by Kalu Rinpoche, Gently Whispered, and there he described briefly the benefits of prostrations. And you can find it in any other books too, like Lama Yeshe describes it like that. That in future, the benefits of doing prostrations, in the future you will have a good rebirth with a perfect body, golden in color, like a Buddha's holy body with a beautiful shape and complete sense faculties. And then there are 10 and 8 more benefits, such as you will have or achieve birth in a king's family, you will be able to make extensive offerings to the Guru, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. You will be able to listen extensively to the Dharma, and you will have extensive devotion, and so forth. So, since I have been inspired by Buddhism, reading some books by His Holiness and others, and had some good experiences with that, I had no doubt that these descriptions of the benefits of these practices, or this practice specific, will have benefit. So I immediately started to apply the prostrations and that I learned then too from a young Tibetan in Berlin. But I had no background of the Four Noble Truths, of the Dharma, to say the truth. And if during that time another person would have come by and showed me another passage in a book of a Dharma, of a practice, devotional practice, and showed me all the benefits of that, I most likely would have applied that too. So some years later, when I learned of Domsho, she translated the Sanghata Sutra, I think in 2006, and that's coming from the Buddha himself, or from the previous Buddha of the Buddha. And this sutra elaborates on the enormous benefits just of reading the sutra, of writing it down, of listening to it. And even only 4 lines or such, you will have incredible benefits, such as, Zavashura asked the Buddha to teach a Dharma that brings great benefit. Such as sentient beings can purify all their karmic obstacles and will make great effort in virtuous Dharma and will attain special superiority, and their virtuous actions will not degenerate. So the Buddha replied to Zavashura as following. The Blessed One, the Buddha, answered, Zavashura, there is a Dharma, Parayaya, called Sanghata, that even now is still active on this planet Earth. Whoever hears the Sanghata Dharma Parayaya will have their 5 uninterrupted karmas purified, and they will never turn away from unsurpassed, perfect, and complete awakening. Zavashura, what do you think about this? The Blessed One continued, Zavashura, those bodhisattvas, great beings, will also produce as much as masses of merit of as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect, complete Buddhas, as grains of sand in Ganges River. Savashura, those who heard the Sangata Dhamma Padhyaya will never turn away. They will see the Tathagata. They will never be separated from seeing the Tathagata, and so forth. There are many, many more benefits described. So I got immediately hooked. I started immediately reciting this Sangata Sutra, and not only once, and I continue to do that till today, when I have time. And I believe in the enormous power of this sutra, as I have some good experiences with it, such as a peaceful mind, more clarity and joy. And but I don't have any proof, and most likely if anybody comes along and tells me, oh, there's another sutra that has this and that benefit, if you recite it, I will maybe start reciting this sutra as well. So this behavior of mine, just following along based on faith, may have some benefits, but it also has some limits and dangers, actually. Prayers and prostrations alone will not change my mind. Prayers and prostrations alone will not bring benefit to others, and prayers and prostrations alone will not protect the longevity of the Dharma. Why? Because I don't learn actually how the workings of my mind. I don't learn how to apply the antidotes to my afflictions, and I don't learn to understand the meaning of the sutta, and I don't learn how to explain the meaning of the Dharma to others. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama said in Riga 3 years ago, when teaching the second chapter of Brahmana Vatika, usually when it comes to general public and Tibetan community, we have followed the teachings, what is called the system of the dull-witted people. If we follow the system followed by people with sharp faculty, the teaching of the Buddha following logic and reasoning, the teachings of the Buddha will live centuries at least. Whereas if you follow based on blind faith, then I don't know how long the teachings of the Buddha will survive. Therefore, we need the common people to understand the teachings of the Buddha well through logic and reason. Otherwise, how can we talk about preserving the teaching of the Buddha? Well, His Holiness states further that the responsibility of a 21st century Buddhist is to study the teachings of the Four Noble Truths, learn about the path, which comprises method and wisdom, so compassion, bodhicitta, loving kindness, and emptiness. So if I have been, I have been a dull-witted person, and just listening to or just following the faith-based practices, reciting mantras, doing prostrations, and relying on sutras for so many years. But since I'm at the Abbey, I have learned and listened more and more the teachings on the wisdom path that Venerable Shutran gives to us here, and many other teachers as well, like Geshe Shetapke now. So I'm learning more and more, slowly, step by step, to think about the wisdom path, to think about emptiness, to think about dependent arising, how to apply reasoning and discuss the Dharma, and transform my mind in an active way by doing this. So, and even if it's feeling very difficult for me here and there, but I don't throw out all the faith-based practices, even so I don't understand why prostration give all these benefits, or why reciting the Sangata Sutra give all these benefits. I still continue with them, but I also rely now more and more on reasoning and following the wisdom path. And I have good experiences with that. It feels good to the mind to be independent, to think about what I am experiencing, to look into my mind and to apply the antidotes and go deeper and deeper, not just so that the afflictions are calmed down, but really that they're cut by their root. So, yeah, this is what I wanted to share today. Thank you.